Ever wondered what happens when fire and ice, sworn enemies since the dawn of time, are forced to work together? Today, we're diving deep into an epic fantasy that reimagines the classic enemies trope with a magical twist that will leave you breathless. Imagine two kingdoms, one forged in eternal flames, the other carved from everlasting ice. They've been at war for generations, a conflict so old its origins are lost to myth. At the heart of this war are our two protagonists. First, there's Kalon, the Prince of Fire. He's exactly what you'd expect. Passionate, impulsive, a warrior with a fiery temper and a heart that burns for his people. He has been raised on tales of the evil Ice Kingdom and believes with every fiber of his being that they are the source of all his world's problems. He sees compromise as weakness and mercy as a mistake he can't afford to make. On the other side, we have Elara, the Princess of Ice. She is his perfect opposite, calm, strategic, and reserved. Her emotions are locked away beneath a cool, insacable exterior. She's a brilliant tactician who sees the world as a complex chessboard. To her, the Fire Kingdom is a chaotic, destructive force that must be contained for the good of all. She's been taught that passion is a wildfire that consumes everything in its path. Our story kicks off on a desolate battlefield known as the Grey Veil. Picture this: thousands of fire soldiers, their armor glowing like embers, facing an army of ice warriors, their crystalline weapons shimmering in the pale light. At the front, Kalon and Elara lock eyes across the no man's land. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a shard of ice. He roars a challenge, calling her Ice Heart, a name meant to sting, to provoke. She retorts with equal venom, calling him Sun Prince, mocking his arrogance. They are seconds away from leading their armies into a cataclysmic clash that would surely annihilate them both. But just as the first wave of soldiers surges forward, something horrific happens. The ground itself splits open. Black, writhing tendrils of pure darkness, a corrupting force known as the Blight, erupt from the earth. This isn't part of their war. It's something ancient, something alien. The Blight doesn't care about kingdoms or elite. It consumes everything it touches, turning soldiers from both sides into dust and shadow. Kalon unleashes a torrent of fire, but the flames are swallowed by the darkness. Elara summons walls of ice, but the tendrils shatter them as if they were glass. Their individual powers, the very source of their identities and their kingdom's might, are completely useless. The creature lunges, not at one of them, but at both. In that split second, pure survival instinct takes over. Forgetting a lifetime of hatred, Kalon throws himself in front of Elara, raising a shield of fire. Simultaneously, Elara erects an icy barrier to protect Kalon. Their powers collide in the space between them. Fire meets ice. And instead of canceling each other out, they merge. A brilliant silver light, something neither of them has ever seen before, explodes from the point of contact. It slams into the Blight creature, not destroying it, but wounding it, forcing it to retreat back into the earth. The battlefield falls silent. Their armies are decimated, and in the middle of the devastation stand a Prince of Fire and a Princess of Ice, staring at each other in utter shock. They've just discovered a power that defies every law of their world, a power that only exists when they are together. This single moment changes everything. With their armies shattered and a new world-ending threat revealed, they realize their petty war is meaningless. The Blight is the true enemy. A fragile, unspoken truce is formed. They must journey together to find the source of the Blight and destroy it. But how can two people who have been bred to despise each other possibly trust one another? Their journey is fraught with tension. Days later, we find them trekking through a treacherous mountain pass. The wind howls, and the cold is biting. Kalon, born of fire, is barely affected. But Elara, despite being the Ice Princess, is shivering uncontrollably. Her power comes from her kingdom's heart. Away from it, she is vulnerable to the natural elements. Kalon watches her for a moment, an internal battle raging within him. He sees not a monster, but a young woman in distress. With a gruff sigh, he rips his own heavy, fur-lined cloak off his shoulders and throws it at her. Elara catches it, startled. The cloak is incredibly warm, still holding the residual heat from his body. As she wraps it around herself, she's stunned, not just by the physical warmth, but by the gesture itself. It's the first act of kindness she has ever received from a member of the Fire Kingdom, let alone its prince. It's a small moment, but it's a crack in the icy wall she's built around her heart. She doesn't thank him, and he doesn't say a word. They just continue their journey in silence, but the space between them now feels different. It's charged with something new, something that isn't hatred. Their quest eventually leads them to the ancient, forgotten Temple of the Heart, a neutral ground from a time before the war.
Legend says it holds the key to defeating any great darkness.
But the entrance is sealed by a massive door with two intricate locks, one fiery orange, one icy blue. An inscription is carved above it. Only when fire burns for ice, ... and ice yields to fire, ... will the path be opened. They stare at the riddle. It's a paradox. For fire to burn for ice, it must sacrifice its heat. For ice to yield to fire, it must sacrifice its form. It's a test of ultimate trust and vulnerability. Kalen looks at Alara, a silent question in his eyes. He makes a decision. He takes a deep breath and deliberately extinguishes the flames that constantly flicker around his hands. For a prince of fire, this is the equivalent of dropping his sword in front of an enemy. He is completely defenseless. He then extends his bare hand to her. Alara's breath catches. She sees the immense trust he is placing in her. She understands her part of the riddle. To yield. She takes his hand. The contact sends a jolt through both of them, a connection that feels both foreign and familiar. They turn to the door, channeling their elemental magic, not at the locks, but into each other. His fire flows into her, and her ice flows into him. From their free hands, their magic manifests in a new, unified form. A controlled, steady blue flame emerges from Kellen's hand, a fire that doesn't burn with rage, but with purpose. And from Alara's hand flows a liquid, malleable ice, not rigid and cold, but fluid and adaptable. They press these new elements into the locks. With a deep grinding sound, the ancient mechanisms turn, and the colossal doors begin to swing open. They've done it. They succeeded where generations before them failed. They turn to face each other, their hands still clasped, the echo of their combined power still humming in the air between them. The hatred that defined them is gone, replaced by AO, respect, and something much, much deeper. The air crackles with unspoken emotion. Kalen leans in slowly, his gaze locked on hers. Alara rises on her toes to meet him. And then they kiss. It's a union of opposites, a fusion of steam and twilight. It's not a kiss of passion or of gentle affection. It's a kiss of destiny, of two halves of a whole finally coming together. It's the moment they realize the war between their kingdoms was a tragic misunderstanding, and their connection is the true nature of the world. As they pull apart, Kalen whispers a single word that changes everything. United, they turn, hand in hand, and walk into the darkness of the temple, no longer enemies, no longer just allies, but partners, ready to face the end of the world together. Their greatest battle wasn't against the Blight, but against a lifetime of prejudice. And their forbidden love isn't a weakness. It's the most powerful weapon they have. What secrets lie within the Temple of the Heart? And can their newfound unity withstand the ultimate test that awaits them in the darkness? That's a story we'd all line up to see. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into incredible stories.